Okay, so professors, we got to the point where we had to reimburse. And if you are to reimburse, what it means that stop and balance the petty cash before you can move on. So look at how we do it. You have done balancing of accounts. So you know the first thing you do is to get the totals, right? But in the petty cash book, you get the totals under the total column first. Okay, so you add, let me zoom this thing in a bit so that professors can see. Okay, good. So we have under the total column, that's the first thing you have to do. 16,000 plus 14,000 plus 20 plus 50 plus 12. Professors, I think that's 112,000. Okay. Immediately you put that total there, continue with the other expenses and get their totals. So under the first column, which is the under the tens column, how much have we spent in total? That's 16 plus 50, that will be 66,000. You do same for the traveling, 16,000. You do same for the office cleaning, which is 20,000. And you do same for the nails, which is 12,000. Now look at what is happening here. You underline for the expenses. You underline it because that's it. Okay, then you now come back to your total column. This time you are balancing it with your receipt column. How much is the cash flow to the receipt? 120. How much have you spent in total? 112,000. What is the difference? Professors, 120,000 minus 112,000, that is 8,000. So this 8,000, that is your balance carried down. So under the detail column, balance carried down. What date are you going to put there? You have to be careful about that date. Use the date on which, okay, Josephine has a question. Josephine, let me end the point and then I'll hear you.
Okay, sir.
Good. Use the date on which you are doing the reimbursement. That is on the 8th. Here you can't use the closing date because you have to spend on the following day, which is 16th, etc. So use on the 8th because that's the period where you have to do reimbursement. After you have put this carry down, you now know the totals here. You draw your total lines for the total column and the receipt column, as you see here. So you have 120,000. It should be on the same line. You come under your receipt column, 120,000. Okay. Then this balance carried down as usual should be brought down under the total. When you balance an account, that's what you do, right? So it will come at the opposite side under the total 8,000. You call it balance what? Brought down. What date are you going to use? Professors, again, use the same date 8 on which you have to do the reimbursement. So now that you have shown this remaining balance, before you can continue to spend, you have to give the petty cashier how much he has spent. And professors, from this question, the petty cashier as at 8 or on the 8th of May 2019, he has spent 112. So we are going to give that cash back to him and he's going to receive it. And if you receive it, you record it at the receipt side, 112,000. What have we done? What we have done is that we acknowledge that he has spent the money, is left with 8,000. We have given him the total he has spent. So when we add it, now he has 120,000, which is equal to the original cash float arrangement, 120. So he can now continue to spend the money. Let me enter that one and I'll hear Josephine out. So now that we have reimbursed him, on the 16th, we paid for office cleaning 50,000. So yes, this petty cashier can go on and spend on the 16th office cleaning 16,000. Yeah, sorry, 50,000. That goes under office cleaning 50,000. And then you continue to spend. But again, you are mindful as to where you have to do your reinvestment. Josephine, please let me hear you.
Yeah, please. With the traveling, you wrote 14,000 and then later wrote 16,000.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes, on the fifth it's 14,000, not 16,000. Thank you for that observation. Okay, great. So please, professors, when you are doing the reinvestment, stop. Get the totals as I demonstrated to you. Okay, and then you now focus on the top column and the receipt column. Do your carry down, brought down, and give him how much he has spent. That's the cash, so that he will continue to get his cash with 120 to continue to spend. Okay, so we have spent 50,000 on the 16th. Our money is left with 70,000. It can pay for the next expense, which was on the 19th, 45. So on the 19th, we bought pens, 45,000. So that goes under pens, 45,000. Then the next expense is traveling, 16,000. Yes, the money can still pay for it, right? So traveling, 25th, 16,000. 25th, traveling, 16,000. I think we have the last one, which is pens, 4,000 on the 30th. Can the money still pay? Let's do the totals. 50 plus 45, that's 95. 95,000 plus 16,000. How much would that be, professors? My calculator. So 95 plus 16, that's 111. So we still have, which can take care of the pens, 4,000 on the 30th. 4,000. Right. And at this point, that's the last expense we incurred in the month, right? So you have to balance it off. At the end of it all, you have to balance it, right? Okay, so I think that will be a total of 115,000, right? When we sum them, you do the totals for each of the column. Under the pens, you have 45,000. Under traveling, 16. Under office cleaning, you have 50,000. And then under news, nothing was there, so dash. After that, you now focus between your totals and your receipt column, right? Get your balance carried down. You are comparing 115,000 to 120,000, right? The balance will be 5,000. And this is your balance carried down. What date are you going to use? At this point, you have ended the month, so you can use the closing date, which also happens to be 30th May, right? Okay. Put in your total figures, 120,000. Then you can now bring your brought down, right? Balance brought down. That will come under the receipt column, 5,000. At this point, you can decide not to reinvest because you have ended the month, but please do the reinvestment. So you give him the cash of how much? 115,000. So that he goes back to his original state. Put in the date, 30th, you can use the 30th. Or this time, because you have no expenses to pay and you are going to the next month, you can use 1st June, right? But it doesn't really matter. You can use your 30th and reimburse him on the 30th as well. Okay. So professors, that is the petty cash book and how it operates. I want to believe that my professors at least appreciated the point as I've outlined or explained. I'll pick few questions. If there are no few questions, I would wish or I would hope that you understood it, and I'll give you a small example for you to try. Very simple one. Okay, Josephine, let's see.
There, please. With the balance carried down, is it supposed to be the closing date of the month or the closing date of the expenses?
Okay, so I mentioned that you see the one we did on the 8th. On the 8th, we couldn't have used the closing date for the carry down because we still had to spend on the 16th, 19th, 25th. So if you use 30 here on the first reimbursement, how can you write 30th and then you come back to continue and write maybe 16th of the same month? Okay, so when you are doing the reimbursement, you use the date on which you are doing the reimbursement. So even if it's second, use second for the carry down. But when you have finished preparing your petty cash book and there's no expense to cover again, then of course you can use your first and then the closing date for the carry down. I don't know if I've explained and it makes sense to you.
Yes, please, but because you wrote the 30th, so I thought maybe it's supposed to be 31st.
Oh, which month are we dealing with? Is it May or let me check again? Oh,
Yes,
it's
May.
March. It's March. No, it's March. So yes, 31st. 31st. So you see, because we are ending the question, your carry down, right, could have been 31st March. So let me do it. 31st March, right? And then your brought down could have been first what? April. You could, because at that point you have no expense to cover again. You have ended the question, right? So you can use those dates. And the cash reimbursement, of course, will also be first April. But if you also use 31st to do the brought down and the reimbursement, you wouldn't be penalized. But well, maybe because you want to show that you're a good accounting student, at the end of the question, you can use the appropriate closing and opening date. But within the question where you have to do reimbursement and continue to spend, use the date on which you are doing the reimbursement. So if it's 5th, use 5th. If it's 16th, use 15th for your carry down. Don't use the closing date. Okay. Any other question? So professors, I want to believe you can prepare something like this for me if I only change the yes and the amount involved. Can't you do that for me? I know you can do that. Josephine, Adam, Akoli, Zoe, and I have the other Zoom user. Please, who is that Zoom user? Zoom user, I don't know. Who is that, please? Is that Portia? No, I don't think so. Okay, so at least for the example I'll put on the page, I expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you to submit because you have been in class with me and you appreciate what we have discussed. Please, any further questions? God willing, Wednesday we'll solve additional questions so that you can appreciate it. But I want to give you something small to play with whilst I go check on the BM exams. Okay, so professors, if there's nothing else, thank you very much for making up to class. I didn't want to miss this class. That's why I had to skew and come, but I need to be there. Okay, as your BM teacher, I have to be there to support your. Hey, Please, so let me be careful. No support as in going to give them a or anything to copy, but at least I need to be around. Not even at the center, around to give them morale that hey, say it's you, let's get them. Okay, so thank you, professors. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'll put something small on the petty guide for you to answer and submit. I should have shared the videos during the weekend, but I don't know. I'll do that so you can have access to these videos. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.
Bye.